Blessed afternoon, collective. Excuse me. That speaks for itself right there. I think there's a lot. There is a lot of honesty, a lot of just cutting truths, burning truths. It's piquant energy. I am feeling it. I have a massive headache that I've had since last night. I did have 2 cocktails last night. Went out for drinks with a coworker, and I'm sure I'm a little dehydrated. But this is I haven't had a headache like this in quite a while. There is so much energy this week. This astrologically, this week is just it's packed. It's event after event. It's the start of spring. It's the start of Aries season. And I am feeling it. I mean, it's reflected in the quality of my voice. There's kind of a let's get this over with vibe to it. It's tired but antsy and frustrated at the same time. There's a lot of anger, there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of sadness. There is a deep sadness underneath all of it. And I can feel that. It's been curious. All of this I am navigating as well, just like everyone. Experiencing, God, it's like hard to get the words out. I'm getting that sensation. There are words that want to come out, and it's hard to get them out. And that's what this energy is sort of here for. But I feel like I'm fluctuating, like I'm in multiple dimensions, which of course all of us are, that's true. But in multiple dimensions at once, like my consciousness is being okay, that's still true. I mean, how do I express this? It is that thin feeling, that stretched feeling. It's a feeling of literally being in 2 places at once, of having a physical sense of that. Like feeling physically I am in more than one location. In more than one place and time. I've had that sensation before. It's a challenge to ground in this energy. I can sense at the same time the dimension of presence, dimension of peace, the connectedness of everything, and simultaneously this heaviness, this sorrow, angst, anguish. Anguish was the word that came this morning. There's an urgency to it. It's just a swirling ball of stuff. What is... I want to look at the... Yeah, so I mean, Mercury went into Aries. Could feel that. And we also have Jupiter in a semi-sextile with Uranus in Taurus right now, which is a positive. It's a harmonious aspect, but it's... my feeling of it is that if Mercury in Aries is a little bit like a machine gun, it's rapid fire, it's not precise, it's a heavy hitter, it's here to bring the heat. Combined with this Jupiter aspect with Uranus, it's creating the cumulative effect of like turning that machine gun into an automatic rocket launcher. I don't know. It's now an anti-aircraft missile launching mechanism. It's heavy. It is explosive. It is still rapid fire, but it's here to blow a fucking hole in everything. Aries season starts tomorrow. The day after that, this is the new moon in Aries, which also takes place at the same... I don't know exactly the timing of it, but I'm assuming a couple of hours of Jupiter in a semi-square with Saturn, which is friction. I mean, it's a semi-square, but it is friction. It's Jupiter in Aries in some form of tension with Saturn in Pisces. That is time to make a change. All of this is fed up. It's fed up energy. It's done with this shit. I mean, especially combining with Pluto moving into Aquarius later in the week, and then Mars moving into Cancer, which is, again, that emotional outburst kind of energy. It can't keep this in anymore. Mars in Cancer with Mercury in Aries is just explosive. It's people not putting up with anything, unable to tolerate the slightest amount of bullshit, and that applies internally as well. Unable to tolerate the slightest amount of our own bullshit. It's a major push towards vulnerability too, towards expanding our capacity to express and feel emotion to ourselves, to one another. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not even sure what I'm pulling on today, right now. I'm just, it's so much. I guess I just want to see what comes out. I want to know about the energy. And yeah, it's going to be the traditional, is it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that feels about right. Just to start off with, it's just a whole lot of this. It's a lot of fives. It's a lot of temporary challenge energy, stuff to do with the physical world, stuff that is intended to shift our perspectives on things. Having to face this, having to face sadness, and realize that we are creating a lot of it for ourselves. We have this unhealthy relationship with our own sorrows. It's important to express. It's incredibly important not to repress grief and pain and sorrow, to let it flow, because in the allowing of it to flow, it helps us shift this perspective. We release it, we feel it to heal it, right? Feeling it is the healing it. And there's a lot that we haven't looked at, that we've been keeping repressed. There's a realization that this mindset is not going to work. It's not working for us anymore. This mindset is not serving us. It's not serving anybody. It's not even, it's just keeping us stuck and stagnant and quiet and that. And we're tired of it. This is that sort of like urgency of being tired of feeling tired, sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. But there's a realization in here, Queen of Swords, that we're doing this to ourselves, right? There's the Eight of Swords and the Nine of Swords and the Five of Cups. These are all energies that we put ourselves in by way of our own perspective, by caging ourselves mentally with self-limiting belief. And it's time to let go of this. It's time to just say, fuck it, I'm done. It's letting go of control. Releasing control, yeah. Letting go. We've been holding on so tight to so much. People, places, things, relationships, and especially patterns of thinking. It's time to realize a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. And you are not your thoughts. Your thoughts have no control over you. You are the one in control. It's time to start witnessing when we have these thoughts. Thoughts that hurt us. Thoughts that evoke a sensation within us that is uncomfortable or painful. And instead of immediately trying to run from that thought, to just look at it. Just look at it. That's it. Just observe it. Just point your gaze directly at it with no judgment, no further characterization. Thought, sensation, observe. That's it. And notice, as you are noticing the thought, how it tries to create more sensation within you to convince you to follow it. It will try to convince you to follow it. Notice that it's doing that. And just watch it. Just let it float by. You can keep your gaze upon it. You can look at it without going into it. Yeah, there's a big lesson in all of this. For everybody, for all of the energy. Oh man. Yeah, this headache is pretty wicked. It's right here, right in the third eye, and then literally just the top of the crown. It's just anyway. I just want to express this energy. I want to bring forth whatever would like to come through for the highest benefit, my highest benefit, your highest benefit, benefit of all collective. Tell me about this energy, universe. What can you tell me? What do you want to tell me? Ride out the storm. Strength just popped out. Okay, I'm gonna take that in the first position. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of fucking energy here. Knight of Pentacles. Ride it out. That's basically it. Stay the course. Know that everything is going according to plan. You are on the path. Everything is happening the way that is intended. Oh my goodness. Okay, 2 cards. I'm going to take them both for the soul position because that makes sense. Justice and Page of Wands. I'll go back through this too. Yeah, there's a lot of tough decisions, a lot of fear, a lot of knowing that we need to take this step. We need to move forward. That's what the soul is desiring. Things are trying to balance. It's time to be that child. It's time to be childlike. To bring that sense of curiosity and exploration into yourself, into the self, the perspective of self, into your own understanding of your being and experience of your being. To not be so resistant to the isness of the moment, to whatever you're experiencing, whatever your thought is, to just look at it, to just be curious about it. When we step back into that observer perspective, that's what allows the energy to flow effectively and to come to balance. It's trying to balance itself. It takes a facing of fear internally, the fear of releasing control. Witness that itself is just a thought within you. It doesn't mean anything. It is just a thought. It's just a mechanism of ego. Witness how hard it tries to convince you to follow it, how much it wants you to believe you have control by actually it having control over you. It's manipulating you into following it. That's not you having control. That's just ego having control. And furthermore, it's the illusion of control. There's no bottom of that pit. There is no end of that wild goose chase, essentially. It's time to realize instinct would tell you to run from the lion. There's something deeper there. Running from the lion isn't going to get you anywhere. It's time to stand and face it, look it in the eye, greet it with a smile and open arms and acceptance and curiosity. That's what the strength card is about. It's about feeling the fear, feeling the impulse to run some direction, to do some unconscious patterned action, and to notice that you are feeling that impulse, and then say, I'm going to stand still. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to stay right here. If I feel like running, I'm going to just plant my feet, open my eyes, and look at what's coming towards me. With curiosity, greet it with wonder, with childlike innocence again. In another layer of energy, it's all of this is steadfastly coming to balance. This is the knight that drags his feet. It's the second slowest energy in the tarot. There can be a lot of stubbornness attached to this, but we're realizing we've been stubbornly clinging to things that are not serving us. Again, people, places, things, particularly beliefs, patterns of thinking. And those patterns of thinking receive energy from us when we participate in them, when we follow them, so they're clinging right back. That's where the clinging sensation comes from, actually. It's time to notice that. It's time to notice that they want our attention, they want our energy, because it limits us, because it makes us small, and because it keeps these thought forms alive. Oh man. What else? This is in the hidden energy message from the universe. This is all a message from the universe, essentially. I'm not pulling on soulmate cycle. I'm not pulling on divine masculine. This is just what is going on. What does spirit want us to know in this current energy storm? Because it is a storm. The pressure of it is just wicked. There's that Five of Cups again. Yeah. I didn't finish with the base energy because they just kept popping out. This and the Hierophant are the base energies. Yeah, it's let this flow. There's so much healing taking place right now. The Lovers. Archangel Raphael. There's a reason it feels like we're being forced to let go of control. It's again, it's the kind of forcing that is the same as, well, you're not forced to put a jacket on in 30 degrees below, but you really want to. It's the free will. It's the stubbornness of the ego that says, no, I'm not gonna do it. I've never worn a jacket. I don't wear jackets. That kind of one note thinking determination of I don't do this. I'm not doing this. Well, it's time to let go of that limiting belief. There's I can feel that like embarrassment again. Steve brought this up. It's like I'm not a person who does this. I'm not a person who feels this. I'm not a person who releases control. Well, why is that a pattern thought? That thought right there, that I am not a person who does this, is just a pattern of thinking. It's conditioned, it's programmed. It's a piece of core programming. That's the thing to look at. And it's time to look at it because it's not serving us. The soul wants to expand. The soul wants to keep growing and changing and evolving. It knows it's never one thing. It never is or isn't any given thing. It's all things, and it's constantly moving. It's time to release beliefs about ourselves that have just been keeping us stuck, have not been serving us, not been making us happy. To just let that go. Yeah, let that go. And the way you do that is by noticing when you have that thought. When you have that thought of I'm not blank or I don't blank, just notice and then ask yourself, is that a thought that I want to keep thinking about me? Just that. And notice the sensations that arise within you. Again, they don't need to be judged. Don't judge them. They're not good or bad sensations. They're just sensations. That's it. You are awareness. You are presence, experiencing self. That's what that means. Oh, final outcome card that just jumped out. Queen of Pentacles. That's really encouraging. And this is a sandwich of Eight of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Tower. It's time to stop thinking. It's time to stop thinking. It's time to check the brain at the door. It's time to let go of control completely. The illusion of control. Surrender the belief that you want control. That's very important. At least that is something that has helped me in this process, in all of this, is surrendering the belief that I even want control. I don't want control. And then notice the sensation that arises when you say that. Notice how ego immediately goes, no, no, I want it. It sounds like Cartman. Yeah. It sounds like Cartman from South Park. And then just, yeah, you don't. The ego doesn't actually want control. It wants to be led. It's the masculine aspect that wants to be in union with the feminine aspect. It wants to serve itself. Itself is the feminine aspect. It wants to be led. It's just all wrapped up in itself. It's wrapped up in its own fear and its own cycle of programming that thinks it needs to manipulate to be safe. Again, everything is safe. The universe is safe. The underlying sense of security and stability that comes from connection with the presence of the source within you, connection to the feminine aspect, connection to just the I am observer. That is the change of perspective. To recognize, to feel, to see, to know within that you're good. Everything is good. Truly safe, stable, secure, provided for. It's the child that isn't worried about anything, that is curious and free because it knows everything is taken care of. Everything is provided for. Everything is working out in their benefit. And that's what the Queen of Pentacles knows too. She doesn't need anything from anybody. She is good on her own. She is balanced in herself. It's the recognition that all things are yourself. You are the present moment. You are the container of it, and you are all things contained within it. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. All of this fear is an illusion. It's unreal. It doesn't exist. What is real is your connection, your awareness of awareness, your awareness of presence, your being presence, intensely alive, experiencing yourself as all things, and knowing all things are within you. They are for you. They are of and by you. There is no threat. There is no threat. There is nothing to defend. It's safe. It's safe. I don't know if I want to clarify this or not. It feels fairly clear, actually, in that context, but we'll just see. Let's just see. Yeah, Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords again. Why does this want to come off the top? The Star. This feels separate. It's related, but it's this deck I always feel like is more closely tied to the divine feminine and masculine energy, which again all of this is in relation to. It's at every level. Nine Swords crossed by Justice. There's a lot of similar cards here. It's time to let go. It is time to let go. Again, Knight of Pentacles. Sandwiching. It's a justice sandwich. Saying that justice will be served, basically. The sandwich of justice is on the menu. It's the only thing on the menu. It will be served. No matter how hard we try to fight this. Nine's the end. Son of Pentacles crossed by 9 Wands. This is that tired of fighting this energy. Tired of fighting against ourselves. Seeing through the bullshit again. Tired of lying to ourselves. Tired of pretending to be happy. Tired of doing things that don't make us happy, that don't feed our joy. And then just stressing, wondering, why am I so unhappy? While I keep continuing to do these things that are unfulfilling and unsatisfying, and lying to myself about my own passions and desires and joys in life. Tired of it. Tired of it. Tired of thinking like this. Tired of behaving like this. Yeah. Tired of relegating happiness to the realm of fantasy. There's a core programming that happiness itself is sort of like this unattainable thing. Joy is perhaps a more vibrationally accurate word, but it's realizing we've put not just the dreams on the back burner, but our own joy, our own presence, our own experience of life. When you're thinking, you're not conscious. You're not actually feeling. You're not actually experiencing. If you're thinking about a feeling, you're not feeling it. You're not actually experiencing that emotion. When you're thinking about an experience, You're not experiencing it. It's time for that to end. It's time to live in the moment as the moment. And to cut out all of this bullshit. To cut out the fear. It's time to get happy. Yeah. And to speak about this. I mean, this is incredibly powerful forward momentum. It's time for a lot to come in as well. This is a strong, destined energy. I mean, it's just, this is what it's supposed to be. This is all part of the plan. Everything is happening the way that it's intended to. It's here to break loose a lot of this stubborn, stuck energy. Okay. Tell me about strength. Why is the strength here? Because we need it. Because it's time to step into your roles as divine deliberate creators. That means opening the heart chakra all the way. All the way. I can feel the fear. Why is strength here? Why is strength here? Jesus, the tower. Yeah, because it's time to just do it. It's the fuck it, just do it kind of energy. You've been standing here at the edge of this cliff for a long time, and it's time to just say, fuck it, I'm tired of standing here. I am stopping myself. I know I'm afraid and it's keeping me from doing this, and I'm just gonna do it. This is at every level. This is the divine masculine, within, without, just deciding to do the vulnerable thing, to take a leap of faith, to express, to expose themselves. What's on top? Yeah, because it's anguish not to. It's exhausting, it's painful, it's excruciating not to. And it's time to just say, fuck it. I just gotta move. I gotta do something. The closest personal example that comes to me is of like dropping in on a skateboard. Dropping in on a ramp. It's terrifying. It's widely understood among skateboarders as it's not actually that hard to do. But there's this giant cognitive sort of block around it, of this feeling of, because you are sort of taking a leap, literally. You have to lean fully forward and feel that there is nothing beneath your feet. You're pushing the board down and it's going further than where the ground would be normally. It feels like falling. It's something that I've struggled with and haven't done in a long time. But I remember learning, standing at the edge, the longer you stand there, just looking at it, the less likely you are to do it. Just like with, I don't know, anything involving heights, that kind of thing. This is what that is. We've been standing at the edge of the cliff, knowing we want to jump. We want to do this. What's peeking out? The magician. With the devil underneath. Yeah. Knowing we want to do this, we're holding ourselves back from doing something we want to do. What's holding us back? The fear. The ego saying you don't have control if you do this. But that's controlling us. It's realizing this is not making me happy. I don't have control right now, actually. the control, the claiming of control, the owning of my own power is to do this, is to take this leap, is to go against the screaming of ego. What's read with the Nine of Swords? Justice. Yep. It's time for this to end. It's time to get out of the shit and leave it behind once and for all, to realize we've been digging pits to climb out of them. It's time to stop with that. To just let go. It's that devil and angel energy. Yeah. There's a lot of resistance, and there is an equal amount. There's more, actually, angel energy. And it's time to get real. It's come to Jesus. It's the devil getting right with himself. It's all of those things. Why is the Knight of Pentacles here? See, you can make it harder for yourself by resisting, by kicking and screaming, or you can just go willingly. That's the sensation of it. I'm remembering how much I hated going to the doctor as a kid, and how much I resisted it, and how much that resistance just was my own writhing and suffering, essentially. It was just me suffering more. I went to the doctor anyway, and all of my pouting and crying and hysteria on the way there just felt bad, just made me feel bad. It didn't change anything, and actually the doctor part wasn't such a big deal. And eventually I realized I was making it worse for myself. I was the one making it painful for myself. If I just changed that perspective and allowed the doctor visit to happen, said, okay, this is happening, going, taking care of it, moving on with my life, then it all just flowed smoothly. It's time to let this cup flow. It's time to flow with the energy and stop resisting the energy, to just let go control and let it take you. Again, it's releasing resistance. It's stopping swimming upstream and just letting the current take you, and trusting with curiosity, again, that it is leading you where you want to be. It truly is. What's on top? The Chariot. Yeah, it truly is. And also, it's not going to stop. This is a determined flow. This is a steady flow. Steadfast. It might seem rapid, but it's safe. It knows where it's going. It knows where to bring you. You can trust it to take you where you want to go. And in fact, surrender the idea of where it is that you want to go. Let it take you where you want to go, and let that be anything. Let that just show itself to you. Your soul knows. There's so much trying to balance here, and it's a lot of getting this night moving. Yeah, it's time to let go. Read with the Chariot. You can't make this up. Knight of Pentacles. Clarifying Chariot, clarifying Knight of Pentacles. It is time to let go. It's time for this knight to get a move on. He's been sitting around. This car has been idling for a long time. It's time to hit the gas. And it's a fast car. Just let it Just let it play out. Just let nature take its course. Truly, you are nature. You are a part of nature and you are nature. Let it happen. Let the energy flow. Let destiny come to you. That's the meaning of receiving. Stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to find it and let it find you. Let it flow towards you. Let yourself be led. Let the understanding come to you. That's the meaning of the path filling in beneath your feet, which is what happens for the fool. When the fool takes the leap, that is the story of that card in the tarot. Is he takes the leap knowing that the path is going to fill in underneath his feet. Soul position. Why's the Page of Wands here? Justice will come with it. Why is the Page of Wands here? Why is the Page of Wands here? I'm reminded of, I had a dream recently where I petted a raven. There were a bunch of ravens. There were a bunch of animals. But a raven flew up to my shoulder and landed there. And then I was just stroking it, and a lion and whatever. I looked it up and read a story. And I can't remember the name. There's, okay, I'm gonna butcher this. The idea being that dreaming of a crow landing on your shoulder and petting it has to do with recognition of the oneness of all, of coming to the conscious awareness of the, I think it was God the Preceptor Diamond. The truth that everything is you, and you are everything, and that you are safe. And it had to do with a story told in this gospel of a crow that was fleeing Rama. Rama being what appeared to be a man. It also means one. And no matter how far the crow flew and how quickly it tried to get away, Rama was always right behind it. It couldn't escape, and so finally it gave up. It surrendered. It stopped fleeing. And in that moment, it says, Rama took the crow and placed it within his mouth. And the crow opened its eyes to find itself sitting on the branch where it had already been cozily perched, perfectly safe. The second it stopped running from what it perceived to be a threat, perceived to be its end, it realized there was no threat. It realized it was all its own dream, its own imagining, and it was safe. This is that feeling. The world is safe. Everything is safe. It's time to get out there and explore. It is safe to do so. It is safe to be vulnerable. It's safe to move about the country. I'm hearing that tagline again, but it is. What's on top? Yeah. It's safe to follow your heart, to follow your dreams. It's safe to simply be. Let's run with the star. All of it. It's time to start dreaming differently, to start perceiving the world differently. Perceiving the path of destiny as already something you are on, as filling in beneath your feet, as something you don't have to figure out. You don't have to go in search of it. It's coming to you. You just curiously accept it. there's still so much energy here. It's painful. Yeah, it's just this message of safe. I just keep seeing red. All the red and the orange. Ground yourself in presence and recognize, realize there is no danger. There is no threat. Everything is secure. Everything is safe. It's all stable. It's all exactly as it is intended to be. Why is the Lovers here? Why is the Lovers here? It's the same message. It's just let go. Why is the Lovers here? It's the same message. It's the Lovers. It's because this is not... The only choice you have is to release resistance, is to give full permission. Everything else is taking place, and it's taking place the way that your soul designed, your divine soul intended. It is everything that you want. It's everything that you desire. And it's coming. It's already coming. It's just the resistance to it. It's the belief, the saying that no, I'm not that person, or I don't do those things, or I can't, or whatever. It's just those self-limiting beliefs, that core programming that is creating the resistance, that's making this uncomfortable. Just let go. Just stop fighting it and let it happen, and you'll realize it's not so scary. It's like it's going to the doctor and realizing, oh, no big deal. I can handle this. In fact, it's totally fine. It's not a big deal at all. I was making it this whole thing in my head. I created this whole scenario, this dramatic narrative that was creating my own suffering internally, when the reality is it's fine. In fact, it's good. It's good. It's a good thing. What's on top? Ace of Swords. Yeah, I create the suffering. I create the anxiety by my perspective, by my resistance. I have the choice to stop doing that. You are so free that you can choose bondage. It's time to just stop. It's time to stop and let the world in. This is read with justice. To realize you are, in the world, not of the world. That you are safe. Again, nothing can touch you. All suffering is self-created and is an illusion. And when one is within the presence, Eckhart Tolle says this, suffering takes time. When you are within the presence, when you are within the now moment, which is you, suffering can't exist. That's also energetically just how it works. Devil energy, which this is stagnant. It requires stagnancy. When you are in the moment, you are continuously flowing, allowing it to flow. It can't build up. It can't build a charge there. It's time to let go and go with the flow. Queen of Pentacles. Why is the Queen of Pentacles here? I'm getting dizzy. Why is the Queen of Pentacles here? I can't. It's the same message. I mean, this is forward movement. It's allowing the forward movement. Why did that want to come out underneath? Because it's still the Lovers, because it's still the same message. You are taken care of. You are cared for. Yes. All of life is making love to you. That. Believe that. Perceive that. Understand that is the truth. What's on top? There's sad horse. 5 of Cups. It's time for this to come to change. It's time for this to shift. To realize there hasn't been a single disappointment in your life. It's all been for your benefit. All of it. To your benefit. All of it leading you to the path of your destiny, towards that which you most desire. All of it. All of it. Towards that which you most desire. It's time to perceive the self differently. To let the self be. To just let the self be. As it desires to be in every given moment. Which is all that you are. It's time to stop putting out the flames of desire and just go with it, to just take that leap, to just say, fuck it, I'm gonna see where this goes. I'm just gonna follow the feeling, follow the good feeling impulse. The next best feeling thing, I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna do it. And be curious and not wonder or worry about why or where it's leading me. I'm just doing it because it feels good, and I am trusting the path to fill in beneath my feet, and knowing that it does, it will, it is, because I am cared for, because the universe is bending over backwards to surprise and delight me, because everything is secure and stable. I am secure and stable. The world is safe. It is safe for me to explore openly, vulnerably, innocently. And it's time. It's time for this. Final message from the universe. I don't think it's going to be anything different. Well, let's see. Let's just see. Anything else? Is there anything else you want to say, Spirit, to us? Everything can change in an instant. Okay, hang on. Temperance and 3 of Swords, yeah. Everything can change in an instant. 3 of Swords crossed by Knight of Wands. Temperance, what's red with Temperance? Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. Stop distracting and let the energy flow. Liberation happens when you stop perceiving imprisonment. When you begin perceiving the self as free, when you openly express, when you flow with the energy, when you let the flow take you, then there's no more effort. It's surrendering the effort. Surrender caring, surrender trying, surrender control. Let the current of well-being take you. Yeah, and let the thoughts fall away. It's time to stop thinking. Again, we create our own suffering by resisting the flow of energy. That's it. It's just stop resisting. I don't have anything else. And it is just that this is taking place. Again, you don't need to try. You allow. That's it. You don't have to push the cork to the surface. You just let it go. You release it and it bobs to the surface. Yeah. Surrender to the self, surrender to the present moment, surrender to the truth that you are everything. And everything is secure. It's good. It's happening the way it's supposed to. The way that you intend, that your soul intends, for your highest good, which is your highest joy. That's all I got. I am dizzy and have a headache. But I do intend this resonates. I intend for it to be to your highest good and benefit. I would love to know how this resonates with you. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe, whatever you feel like. Trust your feeling. Do the next best feeling thing. That's the whole point in all of this. I am doing the same. And always, in every vector of time and space, and in all ways, I love you. We got this. I promise.